So this is my Canyon Lux CF. Let's take a look. So I'm lucky enough to have a few bikes that I ride, and this is my pure cross-country bike. It's a 29er, 100mm travel, super lightweight carbon fibre. Let's start off at the controls. So off the controls, we've got Canyon's own brand bar and stem. It's the H2O carbon fibre bar. It's 720mm wide, which is slightly narrower than I usually use. On my trail bikes and downhill bikes, I use 740mm bars, but to be honest, with this slightly longer stem, it's something that I don't mind on a cross-country bike. The stem is 80mm long, and I've got it set with positive rise of +6. It's reversible, so you can go plus or -6. I've got it on the plus, but as you see there, it's totally slammed to the head tube, so still relatively low setup. So I've got these Avid XX brake levers. On there you can see this hydraulic lockout that runs the fork and the shock, both off my left thumb. It's 1x10, so I'm just running the right hand shifter, which is also the SRAM XX. Got these ESI silicone grips for the full cross-country look on the handlebars. They're really lightweight, only 50 grams, and they're really nice and thin profile as well. The wheels, I've got DT Swiss Spline SL 29-inch wheels, obviously. That's an alloy rim on these wheels. Got the Continental Cross King tyres in 2.2, so they're really low profile, fast cross-country racing tyres. Not so good in the mud, but they're really fast and really lightweight. Set up tubeless, and I'm running about 28 to 30 PSI in there, so relatively hard, just so that I don't risk puncturing, and they roll really fast. The fork is the Rockshox RS1, really nice trick upside down cross-country fork from Rockshox. It's 100mm travel, it's got these carbon fibre uppers, and that hub that is special to the fork. It's almost like two axles in there, so it stiffens up the front end. Got a Rockshox Monarch XX shock on the rear. There's 100mm rear travel on the Lux. And actually you can see here, it's got what's called a flex pivot. So this rear triangle, you know, most full suspension bikes, you'd see a pivot here, but actually uses this flex designed into that seat stay, just so it's lighter than sticking some bearings and a pivot in there. The brake rotor size, I'm running 180mm up front and 160 on the back. So 160 is pretty small actually, but it's a nice lightweight bike and it's not made for going down big, long downhills really. Onto the drivetrain, it's SRAM XX 1x10 setup, so it's got that SRAM XX, lovely piece of kit, that rear mech, very nice looking thing. And I'm running an 1136 10-speed cassette on there. I guess it is quite unusual to run 1x10. Most people with a 1x setup run an 11-speed cassette, but actually this bike came with a 2x setup up front, and I swapped that out for 1x just because I prefer the simplicity. And to be honest, the 1136, it's a bit of a leg burner on the steepest and longest of climbs, but I don't mind it that much. It's not too bad. The actual crankset is a Rotor REX 1 cranks, which is the most noticeable thing about that is it's a power crank. So that sends my power output up to my Garmin. Great for training, and also gives me a number up there. I like to set my max power actually, so when I'm riding I can try and do a quick sprint and beat my max power. I'm running this Rotor Q-Ring as well. As you can see, it's an oval chainring, something that you see more on road bikes probably, and that is supposedly to help you with power. It's a 34 tooth ring, and it's one of these wide narrow rings that we're seeing a lot of, so it keeps hold of the chain, so I don't actually need a chain device on this bike. I've got the brand new crankbrothers Candy 7 pedals in that lovely red colour. They've got these traction pads on the outside you can play around with, just so you get a little bit of grip through the sole of your shoe. And the new crankbrothers pedals have got really good seals, and they've changed up the bearings in there. So actually they're really nice, smooth, great working pedals. Topping the bike off, we've got this Ritchey trail carbon seat post and the Ergon SM3 carbon seat. So loads of carbon finishing off this bike. There are a few little modifications I've done to this bike. You can see I've added a nice little pump to the side of my frame there, mounts to the bottle cage mounts. I've also taped a spare inner tube underneath my saddle, just using electrical tape, so it sits nice and flat to my saddle. And I've also got the water bottle as well, because I don't really like carrying a backpack when I go on a cross-country ride. So I fill my bottle, chuck some bars in my pockets, and a multi-tool, and away I go. I've also got my Garmin mounted to the stem, so I can keep an eye on my power, heart rate, distance, things like that right in front of me. So that's my cross-country bike. It's a super fast 29er that I love using for training and going on big rides. If you want to see more videos from GMBN, you can click up there for our pro bike playlist. We can check out all our other pro bikes. And if you want to win yourself one of these fancy GMBN water bottles, you can click down there for the latest Dirt Shed show. You can enter one of our competitions and be in a chance of winning one. And if you like my bike, don't forget, give us a big thumb up like on this video. And if you haven't already, click on me to subscribe to the channel.